Today is the last day of this section of our hike. While the weather was less than ideal, we were so excited to arrive in Dover that we hardly cared. The walk to Dover was full of mud, horses, and hills, but we definitely enjoyed our last day as much as possible.
This is the war monument to World War I in Shepherdswell. And the Church of Shepherdswell is right there behind it. Along the Via Francigena. It's day 9 of our Camino Ingles walk from London to Dover to Santiago. We're walking from Shepherdswell to Dover today. It's our last day of this stretch. Today's one of those days when you kind of feel like a ridiculous idiot for being out here. Hey horses. Good morning. It's pouring down rain. We don't have to be doing this, but here we are. And yet, it's our last day, and we want to get to Dover. But we all discussed it. We all wanted to do it today. But whatever it is, we're getting to Dover. It's happening. This is what we're going to walk through for a while. The mud is going to be epic. The path from Canterbury to Dover has been very much like this. You go from a field to a muddy field to a green field to a short road walk back to a field. But it's all been pretty well marked. So what is the Pilgrim Way? The Pilgrim Way is the path taken from London, Winchester, or Rochester. Those are the 3 starting points. Then the main 3, of course, back in that day, people started from their door, merged with one of those 3 routes. There was also a route that pilgrims walked from Dover because those were the pilgrims from the continent, which included many kings from France and other European countries that came to the shrine of Thomas Becket. That shrine existed in the Canterbury Cathedral until the 1530s, when they were destroyed by the soldiers of King Henry VIII, who completely demolished the shrine of Thomas Becket. We asked when we were at the cathedral, where is Becket buried? And the answer was, they still don't know.
No one knows.
No one knows. When the monks knew that Henry was coming to destroy the shrine, they hid the body. And there's no written record of where they put it. So no one knows where Becket is buried. They told us several speculative spots, all of which were in the cathedral or on the grounds, but no one knows exactly where Becket is buried, so there's no headstone or anything for Becket in the cathedral. There's just the candle that's the eternal flame. That's it. I don't understand why they had to destroy everything. That part of it, historically, is very frustrating. I mean, this was 500 years ago, and we know based on other countries, a lot of that stuff would still be standing if they hadn't done that.
The reason that King Henry VIII destroyed the shrine of Sir Thomas Becket was because he thought it was a bad example to have the church subjects who disobeyed the king be, like, sainted and honored after their death.
But why did he have to destroy all the monasteries and abbeys and churches?
That I do not know.
These are just the things we're wondering as we're walking. The answers are probably known. We just don't know. We're walking past the beautiful giant manor. Feel like Jane Austen and her brothers and sisters should be pulling up in a carriage in front of that baby, getting out before the ball tonight. I've read on some comments on this stretch that in the summer this path can be a little bit hard to find if the field is overgrown. The walk today has been pretty. That was starting in Shepherdswell. Has been pretty and interesting compared to yesterday that was kind of just straight line through fields. Look at that place. Wow. They're basically just letting us walk through their yard. So this manor is called Woldersham Park. This is the church in
Wiltshire.
1861 right there. Again, you can't be afraid of graveyards if you're doing this walk. Have you guys seen the worm memorial? Look at this tree. Goodness.
This one too.
Oh. Wow. $1736 right there. The truth is, on this walk, I look at 1736 and I'm kind of in the mindset of, oh, it's nothing. It's before our country was founded. Our morning dose of cuteness right there. This way. I guess we look scary with our hoods and everything on. I don't really think it looks that scary. 5 miles to Dover. Go Dover. It goes without saying. If we see a pub, we're stopping.
Yeah.
We just came off that Roman road. I guess that was the path the Romans took towards Canterbury. We have a momentary break from rain. I'm sure the rain's coming back, but this little break from it is golden. It's the first dairy we've seen in days. Hey! So there's the outgoing cow. Hey!
There's a bunch of cows.
We've walked 6.4 miles today. No sign of the sea yet. Well, our boots had gotten reasonably clean. That's over. At 1.7 miles from the pub, Pablo says, there are steep hills ahead. We were up there. Now we're going down. We'll go back up. I guess, you know, we're on our last 2 miles of the whole trek. They're going to make us earn the end.
Yep.
But there's a huge castle at the end.
Yes. And a heater.
And a warm pub. Not at all what I expected, less than 2 miles from Dover. We just finished our 8th mile, I believe. We're entering Dover through a park. We're less than a mile from the center of town. There's Dover. We're continuing our entrance into Dover. I have no idea what the complaining was like online, because this is about the nicest entrance to a city I can ever remember. We've walked into a lot of them. Look at that up in front of us. Top of the hill. Dover Castle. We plan to hit that after lunch. Like Molly said, the cliffs are not at sea level. If you want to see cliffs, you gotta climb up. Or at least if you want to be at the top of them. And there through the trees, we see the ocean. And a lot of port stuff. Never has there been a better name for a road.
I thought the street was pretty good.
The street, yeah. But that is definitely a Castle Hill. This is St. James Church from the year 720. They've done a lot of restoration on it in the last few years. The gentleman we were just talking to said that it's been covered in scaffolding for a while.
He did the Camino not last year, about 50 years ago. Yes.
Cool.
Why so quick?
We are in the White Horse. So the walls in here are covered with people who have swum from France to England across the English Channel. We love that one. Try swimming a mile in my Speedo.
Stacey.
6 months after breaking his hip in heli crash. So we had a delicious lunch at the White Horse Pub, which was super cool. And now we're making our way up to the castle. We plan to end our pilgrimage where the castle meets the sea. Dover Castle. Here we come. Whew! This is like epic steep.
I'm like sliding.
Yeah. We've made it to the ocean. They were not fooling around with their defenses of this place. White Cliffs of Dover, right there. We're basically in them. Look. We just had an incredible tour about Operation Dynamo, which was the evacuation of British and French troops from Dunkirk. It's amazing. So you can't film down in the war exhibit part. This is just a little sampling of what the tunnels are like down there. Or out of the tunnels. And now we're going to walk up to further into the castle. So this on the right is the Roman lighthouse, and on the left is the Saxon church. Drawbridge is down. This kind of gives a feel for all the different layers of the castle. Like we're at the inner, and then there's at least 3 outer barriers. Plus, of course, the steep slope.
So
Just while we've been in there, which was just a few minutes, the clouds are just really rolling in.
Touring Dover Castle was as exciting as we had imagined. We were glad we'd planned to arrive in Dover with plenty of extra time, because our lunch took longer than expected, what with us reading as many signatures as possible off the walls of the White Horse pub. Our favorite part of the castle was learning more about Operation Dynamo. Tomorrow, it's off to London, so we can pick up in Ferrol at the end of May.